So I am here for an update. The last couple of days have been kind of eventful. Fortunately and unfortunately, a little bit of both. As you guys know, I've been on bed rest. I was told last Monday that my embryo had detached about 30% from the uterine wall. And that was all I was told. I wasn't like given the proper name for that or anything. They didn't know what was going on at the time. And they diagnosed me with threatened miscarriage, which is why they put me on bed rest. So what prompted that was I was spotting. It was dark brown. There wasn't a whole lot of it, but it was enough to be annoying. And so that's what started it. And I went on bed rest starting Monday. And I would say that by Friday, it had really slowed down to the point where there was almost nothing. So I was really excited about that maybe it had stopped for good. And obviously I hadn't been doing anything. I've been on this couch, or I've been either sleeping here or sleeping in my guest room, which is in the next room over. I don't really get up unless I have to go to the bathroom, and that's about it. So Saturday, I had slept for forever. I remember I'm sorry, my brain is kind of all over the place right now. On Saturday, I had finally fallen asleep at about midnight. Sometimes I kind of have a hard time falling asleep because the sides of my legs are getting really sore from the shots, which I think are maybe a little bit closer to my nerves than my back would like, because I do have, my back is not normal. My L5 disc is not a normal disc. It's herniated and ruptured. So the nerves over there are a little bit finicky. So I think that's what's happening there. So I try to sleep on my left, and after a while that gets uncomfortable and it wakes me up because of the, it's kind of a numbness that I have on the side of my leg. Anyhow, I did finally fall asleep at about midnight. And I remember waking up probably around 6 a.m. And I was going from boiling hot to freezing cold in a matter of a minute. Now, I don't know what that has to say about anything, but I thought that was a little bit strange. It was a little extreme. I've been experiencing, I guess you would call them hot flashes, but not like that. That was a little bit crazy. And that woke me up, and that finally went away after a couple of hours. So by that time it was like 8 a.m. And, excuse me, and the next thing I knew, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, it's 3 o'clock. Where did the day go? I have just been really, really tired, and that's partially because they upped my progesterone with the bed rest. So I am not only on the progesterone and oil shots, I am also on 2 progesterone pills a day. So the doctor kind of explained that that's kind of like a tranquilizer because it's really going to knock me out. And that's exactly what it does. I get pretty tired pretty quick. And so I woke up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. And I get up because I had to go to the bathroom. And the bathroom is not far from me at all right now. And I get up, and I'm going to put a TMI warning here, because there's really no way around this. I get up, and there is a gushing feeling. And it wasn't just a quick gush. It was like a big gush. And then I felt like something fell out of me. So I get to the bathroom, and I've been wearing liners because I'm on the estrase pill, the blue pill that kind of has to go up your girly parts, and that you get some discharge from that throughout the day. So I normally wear liners, and I get to the bathroom, the liner is soaked through and through. It's bright red, and I go to wipe, and I've got a decent sized clump of toilet paper just because of what's going on. And the entire top of the toilet paper was one big clot. It was like the size of my fist. And I freaked. I completely freaked out. I looked down, and there's still blood coming out of me, and it looked like someone had dyed my entire toilet, the inside of my toilet bowl, Kool-Aid red. I was terrified, and the next thing I think is of course my body's going to do this on a weekend again, where I've got to try and get a hold of the on-call nurse instead of my own nurses. My clinic has numerous locations, so the on-call is kind of shared among nurses from different locations. Last week I got lucky and I got one of my nurses. This week not so much. I'll get to that in a minute. So I clean all of that up. It slows down. I put a pad on this time. I go back and I sit down and I chug a gallon of water. I try to eat something, but of course I'm completely freaking out. I call the weekend number. I get the on-call nurse, which was not mine. And essentially, she told me to keep doing what the doctor had told me to do, to stay on the bed rest, to monitor everything and when it was happening. And if it got worse, to call back. And if it got painful, to go to the ER. Thankfully, neither one of those happened, though I worse would have really been bad because it was pretty scary. And she told me to call first thing on Monday morning to get in for an ultrasound. Now, that whole event with the fist-sized clot and all of the bright red blood happened 2 more times that day. It happened 3 times, so that's 3 clots the size of my fist and a ton of bright red blood. I would say by about 8 o'clock on Saturday, it kind of felt like it was slowing down. Now, it's not like I was in the bathroom constantly, but you can kind of feel when that stuff's coming out of you. And it had slowed down. And by Sunday morning, it was like someone turned it off like a switch. So I was really confused. I didn't know what to think of that. I didn't know what to make of it. All I know is the size of those clots was really scary. Really scary. I didn't want to say the word, but at the time I really and truly thought that I was miscarrying. And then it stopped, which I know isn't normally what happens in that situation. So I got really confused and I didn't know what I was dealing with. But I was still really scared. In my mind, I was having a hard time picturing how my little bean could have stuck throughout that. I did do some research online that thankfully eased my mind a little bit. I talked to a couple of people in the community that helped. But, of course, I was still concerned. So, I call this morning. I tell them the same description I just gave you guys. And I ended up talking to 2 different nurses. And they said, okay, come on in. We're going to fit you in between the doctor's surgeries. He doesn't normally see patients on Mondays. That's normally when he tries to schedule most of his surgeries, like his HSGs and his retrievals and things like that. Of course, the retrievals, that's on a person-to-person basis, if it lands that way or not. But most of his surgeries tend to be on Mondays. So I go over there, and we got there early. My husband and I got there early because they said they were squeezing us in, so I figured I might as well get there early. If I have to wait, I have to wait. I didn't have to wait for too long, thankfully, because I was the biggest ball of nerves in the waiting room because I was just so scared and I didn't know what to think. I had went half of the weekend with every worry and concern under the world because all I could keep thinking was, gosh, you know, all of us in this community, we fight so hard to get this far, and the pregnancy can't even be normal. That really aggravated me. Still aggravates me a little bit, but that's all right. That's all right. Because I go in there, I tell the doctor, I'm talking to the doctor now, I'll tell the doctor the whole thing all over again, and he gets this very concerned look on his face. And he's like, all right, let's see what we've got going on. They took my blood. I don't have those results back yet. I'll have those later this afternoon. If I get them before I upload this video, I'll put them on at the end. He puts the ultrasound wand in. My husband is sitting off to the side. My husband, keep in mind, you know, he knows what I tell him. He's not looking up every little thing like I do. And obviously, being a part of this community, become very well informed. The doctors figure that out quite quickly, by the way. So he wasn't too familiar with what he was seeing on the screen, and he had a better shot at seeing on the screen than I did because I was laying down and the doctor hadn't turned the screen my direction yet. But I didn't even need to see the screen. He put that wand in, and I could tell that they were kind of fixing it to get closer or a sharper image. He turns the sound on, and I hear the most amazing thing I've ever heard. It was muffled because they hadn't gotten exactly to where they needed to be yet, but I heard that heartbeat right away, and I just started crying. And the doctor looks at me. At this point, he turns the screen because he knew I knew what I was hearing. He looks at me, he's like, okay, just breathe normally. And my poor husband is off to the side. I was just in shock. I couldn't even talk. All I could do was cry. And my poor husband is off to the side trying to figure out what's going on because nobody's saying anything. And he's like, what is it? What is it? And then they get the sound and the picture where they want it to be. And the heartbeat was just so loud. And he was like, is that her heartbeat? And they're like, no, that is the baby's heartbeat. And he just lost it. We've waited so long to hear that sound. And we've waited so long to see a fetal pole. It's just amazing. I am still in shock. I know what was coming out of me this weekend, and I can't wrap my brain around how this is even possible, but I will take it. Obviously, I will take it. So, the heartbeat was 106, which is great. And technically, I am 6 weeks, 4 days, but it is measuring 6 weeks, 2 days, which is normal. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I haven't gotten my levels back yet, but up to this point, they've been great. They've been more than great, actually. So they don't really see there being a problem with my hormones or my HCG level or anything. But again, I'll get that later. I'll get that information probably in 3 or 4 hours. I am just so thankful. A lot of you know that I was a basket case this weekend, and all of your prayers worked. I told the doctor what was going on, and he said, listen, I am sorry. The nurse that was on call was not from this particular facility. If this happens again and you call and they tell you that, you tell them to page me, because a lot of times I am here. And it just so happened he was in the office Sunday morning because somebody needed to be monitored for something. That's the kind of doctor I have. He doesn't care what day things happen on. That's if he has to be there, he has to be there. So I know that for the future. And yeah, I'm still in shock. So as for what I have going on, all right, I have, and I'm probably gonna butcher this horribly, but I have subchorionic hematoma, I believe is the way it's pronounced. An SCH is what people refer to it as. I know there's been a number of people in the community that have had this. I knew a little bit about them. I didn't know a lot. And I certainly didn't know you could end up with clots that big falling out of you because of them. I do obviously still have it, despite what came out of me. There is still a hemorrhage there between the embryo and the wall. But because everything's on track, and because of what happened this weekend and the little bean's still stuck, the doctor is not crazy worried. He's obviously concerned. They're keeping me on bed rest, but he is not overly worried, and he doesn't want me to be overly worried. He wants me to try and stay de-stressed. My husband said that between the two of us, we are two of the most hard-headed people like he's ever known. So our child is not going to go anywhere. That's his take on it. Our child is going to be too stubborn and hard-headed to let go. So I'll go with that. But that's about it. So he did tell me that the blood issue could happen again. Hopefully not as bad. Or it could reabsorb. This whole thing is pretty much just going to be a matter of me getting to 12 weeks. Once you get to 12 weeks, obviously the chance for miscarriage really drops. And by that point, you know, the placenta will be fully grown and fully attached. And hopefully the hemorrhage will no longer be there. That's the concept. I mean, that's not always the way it works, but that's what they're hoping for. So I am halfway there. 6 more weeks. 6 more weeks. And hopefully all will go as planned. And hopefully there won't be too much more drama. Like I said, I was really, really hoping for a quasi-normal pregnancy. Fight so hard to get this far. You know, it took me a long, long time to accept the fact that my husband and I would never conceive like normal human beings. It took us a long time to accept that. Actually, I don't know if my husband has quite come to terms with that, but I've done my best to. However, I just really was hoping that once we finally got this far, the pregnancy would be pretty smooth sailing. Obviously, it hasn't been so far. But hopefully it will be. Hopefully, if I do everything the doctor says, I am allowed to go upstairs once a day. My bedroom is upstairs. My bathroom is downstairs. So far, I'm not going to the bathroom like a crazy person yet. I know that's coming. And as soon as that starts happening, I won't be able to go upstairs to sleep. I've been sleeping downstairs, but because he told me this morning it's okay to go upstairs once, I will probably sleep in my bed because it's much more comfortable. And we'll see how it goes. Sorry, I'm really belchy today. I know that's a symptom too, so sorry about that. Other than that, good symptoms wise, just really, really tired. I know that's from the progesterone. The girls are definitely hurting. I've had a lot of the belchiness and whatnot. That's about it. That's about it. Nothing more to report on that front. So, before I leave you, I'm going to show you these pictures, these amazing pictures. First off, here's what they gave us with the heartbeat. The heartbeat's down here. And you can see right there, it says 106. And this is our little bean. Look at that beautiful fetal pole. Just amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And the sac is much, much bigger. Actually, I have the other ones here. Let's see if I could do this. That was last Monday. And that's today. So we've definitely got progress there. So I am so happy. We are so happy. Still in shock. I thank every last one of you for all of your prayers. The couple girls I've been talking to a lot, I'm sure I've been driving you crazy. But thank you for being there for me. And this is just an amazing ride, and I'm glad you are all here with me. So, before I start completely losing my emotions that I'm trying to keep under control, I'm going to let you go. This video is long enough from what I'm looking at. Nothing new with me, obviously. And I will talk to you guys next week. My next appointment is next Tuesday, June 18th? June 17th. June 17th in the afternoon. Hoping nothing happens before then and that we are all good. That's what we're going to go with. Thank you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Okay, so I did get a call before I uploaded this video, so I'm going to tack this on to the end real quick before this gets too much longer. My HCG levels are 53,073, which is great. That's awesome. Last Monday, they were 13,600 and something or another. I don't remember the exact number. I've got it written down somewhere else. But I did punch those numbers into the doubling calculator. When I did that last Monday with the 13,000 number plus the one before that, it said my doubling time was about 43 hours, which is really great. Normally, when you hit 1200, the doubling time starts to drop. That's just what happens. Actually, I wrote it down. I think under 1200 is supposed to be like 31 to 72 hours. 1200 to 6000 is between 72 and 96 hours, and over 6,000 is more than 96 hours. Now, those are just averages, but based on the averages, currently, right now, at 53,073, my doubling time is 86 hours, and that is really, really good, considering this says over 6,000 is typically more than 96, so I will take it. The rest of my levels, the estrogen, the progesterone, all of that looks great, so no other problems, thank God. So, that's it. That's all I got. I will talk to you guys later for sure this time. Bye.